look how glossy the paint is. That's freaking insane. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Walkaround, where we make detailing simple. My name is Sak, and today I have something special for you guys. So first off, I am recovering off of a cold, so I do sound nasally, but I really want to go ahead and use the entire Labocosmetica line, and I already had this customer scheduled to go ahead and get his vehicle ceramic coated. But all in all, we're going to use the entire Labocosmetica line from start to finish, with the exception of their sister lineup, which is their Maniac line, which is the wheel and tire cleaner, and the Ultra Ceramic Speed Wax, which we're going to go ahead and use this on the windows once we're done, just to make it hydrophobic. And yeah, so all in all, I'm excited to go ahead and use this product line, and especially Fiero, which is a primer polish for ceramic coating, so you could go ahead and get some great correction capabilities as well. And once you wipe off, you could go ahead and coat right over it. So it's just a phenomenal product, so I can't wait to use this and see the versatility of it. I am only going to use one pad and one polish and go ahead and use a pad washer like I typically do. So can't wait to go ahead and use that. And Energo is just, I don't see a lot of water spots, to be honest. So I think Purifica will be just enough. But if we need to go ahead and use Energo, I already have it diluted 125 in this IK 360 mini sprayer. And that's about it, really. So I'm going to go ahead and do this live just quickly for you guys, and I am going to put Primus inside the foam cannon. So it's 25 ounces for 750 milliliters, so that means there's 4 ounces of Primus. You're going to do it in a 1:5 dilution ratio, which I am going to use it as. And I'm going to pour this first, just because I know typically you don't want to put, you know, the soap first, but it's only 750 mils, which is halfway, so the bubbles isn't going to go ahead and reach that high. And go up to 750, and that's about it. So let me see, it's almost there, and that's it. So now I'm ready to go ahead and just use Primus. So everything is diluted. I already put Purifica, I put 9 capfuls, which is 9 liters that I have inside my bucket. I have 9 liters, so it's 9 capfuls, which is 1 capful per liter for Purifica. And that's it. So let's go ahead and get started, and let's take a look on the walk around on how the vehicle looks. So for the wheels and tires, I used the Maniac wheel and tire cleaner diluted 1:5. It is an amazing wheel and tire cleaner. It literally pulls off the browning, dirt, and grime off the wheels and tires, and I have a dedicated review on that, so go ahead and check that video out. And so we're going to go ahead and just use Primus as their pre-wash alkaline type of soap, and we're going to go ahead, and I already diluted this 1:5 inside this foam cannon, and let's see how it goes. Whoops. Gotta adjust the fan. 1 second, fellas. And there we go. In terms of foam, it foams up really nice, especially this MTM foam cannon and this pressure washer kit that I got from the clean garage. It's foaming up very, very nice. All right, everyone, so as you can see, it is bringing down that dirt and grime very easily. It's encapsulating everything, and it's looking really good. So all in all, it foams up very nice. Primus foams up very nice. Now, typically, now I know all I need is 16 ounces, not really, you know, the 25 ounces. I may just foam this twice just to get rid of it so I don't waste any product. But all in all, it is encapsulating all that dirt and grime. Then I'm going to do the same dilution with Purifica, foam it on, and then go ahead and do my contact wash. So let me go ahead and get my spray nozzle and rinse down the rest of the vehicle. Great thing about Primus is that it's not caustic, and at the same time you can go ahead and let it dwell as long as you want. It's not going to damage any of the plastics or trims. So all in all, it cleaned up the panel very nicely. So once we rinsed off the Primus, now we're gonna go ahead and use Purifica, which I have it diluted in here, and just spray it on. let's use Purifica. I have it diluted 1:5 in here. I put, 2.5 ounces to 500 milliliters, which is pretty much like 17 ounces. But I have it already diluted in here. I'm gonna pre-foam everything. The Primus took care of 90% of the dirt. Now we could go ahead and safely do our contact wash. No, you do not need Semper, but I did put Purifica inside the bucket wash. That way I could break down more of those water minerals. And this vehicle doesn't have a lot of water spotting to begin with, so this will be just enough. We're not gonna go ahead and need Energo whatsoever. So let's go ahead and spray this on, let it dwell, and go to our contact wash. Just let this dwell for the past minute or so, and we're ready to go ahead and do our contact wash. I already foamed up Purifica here in the bucket. Now we could go ahead and do our contact wash, and you could go ahead, start top to bottom, bottom to top. It doesn't really matter at this point because 90% of that grit and dirt was removed with Primus, and now we're doing just a safe contact wash. So go ahead and get started. In terms of lubrication, very lubricious. Let me bring my wash mitt. Literally zero dirt is coming out of the towel, and to be honest, or out, off the paint into the wash mitt. And to be honest, the owner does take very good care of his vehicle. So now we're able to go ahead and clean longer sections, and that's about it. I also do have my purple SBs on for the video for Labocosmetica. But that's about it. Let me just go ahead and do the contact wash, and I will see you once we're done rinsing off Purifica. What I'm going to go ahead and be using is the iron remover from Stoners. The floor is wet, it's filled with Primus, it's filled with Purifica, so it shouldn't stain the floor. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this as my clay loop. I do not have the iron remover from Labocosmetica, but I dumped the clay towel inside Purifica, and we're gonna go ahead and clay and decontaminate the vehicle at the same time. So I'm just gonna be generous. It doesn't stink, so something that's great about this iron remover, and it does the job. That's the main thing. It does the job. This vehicle, you hear it, barely any contamination whatsoever. So this is gonna be a breeze to go ahead and get through. We're just trying to remove any minuscule type of iron that's in there, and then we'll be ready to go ahead and polish. So I'm gonna do this, and once I back the car in the garage, we're ready to go ahead and polish and use Fiero. All right, everyone, so I already did the entire other half in here using Energo. This is diluted 1:5 in here, so you don't need a lot. It does say keep away from direct sunlight. This doesn't really have any water spots, to be quite frank, but it doesn't unclog in terms of it doesn't unclog, like making the water sheet faster or anything, but you just go ahead, apply it on as such, and then just rinse off. We're gonna apply Beneficia to the rims to give it that hydrophobic effect. This is pretty much like G-On Wet Coat or DIY Detail Quick Beads. And here there's a dilution ratio, meaning in the summertime you want to dilute it 1:1, but wintertime you could use it straight. And I'm gonna go ahead and apply this generously. In terms of the sprayer, I'm not really a huge fan of it, but I'm gonna spray it just like that, let it dwell. It says to rinse off right away, but I'm not going to do that. I'm gonna go ahead and let it dwell. I wanna test the versatility of this product. This is why I do these tests, although yes, they do have directions, but I do wanna see if the beads or anything comes up afterwards. As you saw, there was no beads to begin with. So once I let that dwell, about 10-15 seconds, because it does say to go ahead and rinse off right away. Let's go ahead and see what happens. And as you can see, nice tight beads, and that's about it. So quick, easy, and simple. Also, one thing to note with Beneficia, this thing is so slick, very slick. Way slicker than G on wet coat, I'll tell you that much. A little bit slicker than Hydro Blue from McKee's 37, but this is on par with DIY Detail Quick Beads for sure. And yeah, just nice, clean, and protected rims. And so let's go ahead and apply Nero tire dressing. You open the cap and it has like this nice little dropper in there. And just to not cross-contaminate, I'm gonna go ahead and use an applicator pad just because my other tire dressings are used, and I'm going to be generous on this. And that's about it. It leaves a nice, dark, rich sheen. Let it saturate and get into the pores of the tire rubber, and that's about it. So very easy product to apply, nice sheen. Only thing is durability, and see how long it lasts, whether it lasts one rainstorm or two rainstorms, but pretty much a lot of tire dressings don't really last that long. But I do love the way it leaves that nice dark sheen. And you see the swirls, the light swirls and scratches. We're gonna go ahead and remove that, and what I'm gonna do is use Fiero here, and I'm gonna use a pad washer as well, like I typically do. So this is already damp. I have my pad washer right over there, and I'm going to go ahead and use the DIY Detail waffle pad, and on top of that, it recommends saying the yellow pad, which I'm guessing is a polishing pad like Rupes and stuff like that. And this is a wax filler and silicone free. So let's go ahead and get started with that. So my pad is pretty much damp, and I'm gonna go ahead and use 3 to 4 dime-sized drops. I already shook this up before I even started recording. And I'm gonna use 5 dime-sized drops. And I'm gonna do this area first. It's pretty cool outside, it's 60 degrees, and the panel feels about like 60 degrees, so I'm not worried about any heat being generated. And I'm going to do a 2x2 section, dab this out, and do speed setting 5 on the SPTA because the SPTA is not high in torque. Look at that. That's after, and that's before. So we're just gonna do this on the whole vehicle. That's it. The wipe off was literally simple. Use this in direct sunlight, and it was fantastic. So all in all, right when I'm done polishing and buffing this off, I could go ahead and apply the Labocosmetica SAM coating, which we're gonna do. And I'm just gonna finish taping off the rest of this vehicle, and the tire dressing seeped in nice. Look at that. But let's go ahead and finish the rest of the vehicle. My overall thoughts on Fiero: it is an amazing primer polish. Don't underestimate its cutting capabilities, and also it just enhanced the gloss amazingly well. But in terms of cutting capabilities, we really achieved about 50% to 60% of correction, which is a night and day difference, as you guys saw. But if this was a medium type of clear coat or a harder type of clear coat with these same amount of defects, I really suggest you go ahead and use a medium cut polish, and that is just me being transparent. But all in all, it is an amazing product. Go ahead and use this in direct sunlight and literally wipe off. It's slick and you could coat right over it. I'm using this in direct sunlight. It wasn't finicky whatsoever, and it has a long work time. Maybe I could try this with the wool pad. I did not give that a shot. Maybe I will next time. But all in all, I am absolutely amazed with this product. Alright everyone, so let's go ahead and unbox this Labocosmetica SAM coating. And it's a self-assembled monolayer. That's what SAM stands for. That's the acronym. And it is PFAS free coatings. Pretty much it's in comparison to VOC compliant of like 3D products here in the US. And overall, just amazing packaging. We're only gonna apply the monolayer one. That's all we're gonna go ahead and apply. This is the hybrid polymer coating. It just gives it a little bit more gloss. And that's about it. In scientific terms, what the hell does 80% chemical and 20% physical mean? I don't know, but ceramic coatings give it gloss and slickness, and that's nice. They give you some gloves in here. a nice suede applicator. And a couple of suede applicators to go ahead and apply the coating. So in terms of suede applicators, am I a fan of this type of application process? No, I am not. I really prefer the microfiber, so I may just skip this. But all in all, let's go ahead and apply SAM with the microfiber. So that's it. That's all I could really say. They give you a lot of suede applicators, which is awesome. The other stuff that comes in is, I'm guessing, the instructions for SAM. But I saw their video online, and pretty much you want to give it 2 to 5 minutes, and you're just gonna apply it, and not even a crosshatch, just in one direction, and you're not going to crosshatch it again, and just leave it there for 2 to 5 minutes, just making sure you're getting even coverage. But that's about it. So let's go ahead and get started. So let's go ahead and apply the SAM ceramic coating from Labocosmetica. And just to keep you guys posted, just for context as well, I'm gonna apply it the way they suggested online, and then for the driver's side, I'm gonna go ahead and apply it in circular motions, the way I really like to go ahead and apply it. But I don't know, let's see. Apparently for this one is just go in straight lines, whether left or right or up and down, but never cross-linking. So I don't know why that is really important. And then you go ahead and let it sit for 5 minutes. Here is 5 minutes, 2 to 5 minutes, depending on the environment. I'm going to let it sit for 5 minutes. And I'm going to go ahead and prime my applicator. And then from here, we're just gonna use 3 to 4 drops. My nose is clogged, so I can't even really smell anything. So let's go ahead and do it the way they suggest. So just in straight lines, come back up. Oh yeah, this has a solvent smell. It's unclogging my nose. And I'm gonna do a bigger section than usual. And I wanna make sure I cover everything. I don't know if this coating is slick or not, so you guys would hear of my impressions of this. And I box my corners and make sure I got even coverage. They don't want me to crosshatch again, so just let it be just like that. And this type of coating starts sweating automatically. And I'm going to leave it there for 5 minutes, just so we get the best type of bondage. So right now it is 3:56. I'll say at 4 o'clock exactly, we'll remove it. All right, so we're up to the 5 minute mark, and I coated this whole pretty much half. And this is how the coating looks. It's completely sweated and it's ready to go ahead and be leveled off. So let's see if it's easy to level off. I waited 5 minutes, hopefully it is. And I'm using 2 towels. Use the orange as my initial buff, and then, or my initial leveling towel, and then the gray one for my initial buff. And I must say, this coating is slick. It's not grabby, but you see some rainbowing there, and it just easily just levels off right after. That's great. So for me, in terms of time to level off, based on what I'm seeing, I'll say 4 minutes is ideal. But at the same time, I'm able to do more of a surface area, so I should be done with this vehicle in the next 15 to 20 minutes. Because 4 to 5 minutes looks like it's the Goldilocks, so 4 to 6 minutes. And that's about it. So it'll be easier to go ahead and coat pretty much almost one whole side, let it let it sit there, dwell, and as I'm leveling off, once it hits the 4-minute mark on one side, by the time I get to the other side, it's 6 minutes. Is it the slickest coating? No, it is not the slickest coating, but it is slick. In terms of high spots or streaking, I don't see any. And let me see if I could bring you guys in and see if you guys see any. But I don't see any streaking. Everything just looks nice and uniform. So let me just finish coating the rest of the vehicle. Here's my overall thoughts on the Labocosmetica SAM ceramic coating, and overall ease of use was very easy, long work time, and it is cooler outside, so I even let it sit past the 5-6 minute mark and it was still easy to go ahead and level off. But one thing I must say, do not miss any high spots because it starts to get really hard to remove. So I went ahead and had to apply more on the applicator and then had to rub it in and then right away level off to go ahead and remove it. So this is a very thick and viscous type of coating, and all in all, in terms of slickness, even after it is cured, I give it about a 6.5, 7 out of 10. It's not super slick, but I'm pretty sure if I was to use the HPC, maybe the slickness would have been crazy. But that's about it. The gloss, the slickness, and everything is there. It's just not the slickest coating, but the gloss is off the charts, which you guys will see at the end of the video. But that's my overall thoughts. Here are my final thoughts on the Labocosmetica lineup, and my initial thoughts just in general is a phenomenal lineup. It's very versatile, and when I mean versatile, I mean in terms of myself washing the vehicle outside in the direct sunlight, and it was phenomenal. I used Primus and Purifica the way you ideally want to use it in a foam cannon. And what really surprised me was Primus. You go ahead and put it on the vehicle, it's in direct sunlight. I let it dwell for a very long time. It cleaned 90% of that dirt and grime. You guys even saw it pulling it down from the paint. And you went ahead and rinsed it off. It didn't damage any of the plastics or the windows. And then I went ahead and followed up with Purifica to go ahead and foam up again, let it dwell, even in direct sunlight. Went and did my contact wash with the foam, did it all around the vehicle, didn't stain, no glass, no plastics, rinsed it off, and that was it. After I went ahead and used Purifica, Nitido, no introductions for Nitido before. I'm just gonna keep this on the side. I have a dedicated review. But after I finished doing the contact wash and everything, I did use the Stoner's iron remover. I do not have their iron remover. And the Stoner's iron remover didn't stain my floor. So just because I'm pretty sure I have Purifica and Primus, I had soap. So that was just a great deal. After we finished all that with the contact wash and the clay step, I put in that hole 1 to 5, sprayed this all around the vehicle, even though it didn't have water spots, but I really want to make sure I remove any lime scaling or minerals that's on the paint. We removed that, applied it on, even in direct sunlight, diluted 1 to 5, and it worked just fine. Again, use as directed. It says not to use in direct sunlight, but I'm pretty sure if it was a stronger dilution, I really would have used it away from direct sunlight, but it didn't harm anything, which was fantastic. Next up, Nero. You guys already know the tire dressing. It leaves that nice dark type of sheen. And Beneficia, which is like, DIY detail quick beads if you guys watch my channel, or Gion Wet Coat, or McKee's 37 Hydro Blue. This is pretty much what it is. You just spray on, rinse off. You guys saw the tight beading. It gives it some protection. I don't know how long the protection lasts, but it is super slick. I put it up there. It is a very slick, spray on, rinse off type of product. Now, let's talk about the top 2 things in the video, which is Fiero and SAM. So Fiero, phenomenal. Don't underestimate its cutting ability. We did about 50 to 60% of correction capabilities with this. You guys saw how swirled up the vehicle was, but we ended up improving it by 50-60%. And we were able to go ahead and coat right over this. All we did was just, the only downside is going ahead and taping off the plastic trim, which takes a while, but we just didn't have to panel prep after. All we did was just remove the tape, get in the nooks and crannies of that tape line just in case wherever we missed, level that off, and then went ahead straight to the coating process. And the cut was just phenomenal. Now, if the customer was getting a 2-step, maybe I would have used Audace, their Supreme cut compound, or their heavy cut compound. and then went ahead and probably followed up with this to go ahead and gloss it up a little bit. But it was just a phenomenal product the way it went ahead and cut, and it was versatile in terms of I was just using the pad washer. My wife and I saw no difference whether we used a pad washer or not, and it was still as slick. Primed it, and that's it. Next up is SAM, very user-friendly ceramic coating, and you guys saw myself just apply in larger sections. It is colder outside. As you can see, there's some smoke coming out of my mouth. Now it's like 45 degrees outside, but all in all, when we did apply the coating, it was about 55 degrees, and it gives it a 2 to 5 minute window, and on top of that, it sweats, so it turns to little beads, and that's about it. It's very easy to go ahead and wipe off. In terms of ease of use and user friendliness, I'll go ahead and give this a, an 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10. It's very easy to use. In terms of almost leaving a high spot, I did almost leave a high spot, and I went ahead and applied a little bit more on the applicator, applied it on, and then removed it right away, and it removed easily. But all in all, this ceramic coating is also a bit on the thicker side, and when you go ahead and level off the coating, it is not slick, but after it cures, it starts to get slick. It's kind of like in terms of like the DIY Detail 5-year ceramic coating. It's not slick at first, or their 8-year coating is not slick at first. You just remove it. It just feels like a regular coating, and then once it starts curing on the paint, it turns slick. So this is pretty much the best comparison I have in terms of the slickness. Now, one thing I forgot to mention about Fiero is very user friendly in terms of I was using this in direct sunlight, and even when I was leveling it off on direct sunlight, unlike other primer polishes on the market where you go ahead and remove that polish residue, it leaves a little bit of streaking. This did not leave any streaking, which was great. And on top of this, you could coat right away right after this, unlike other primers that you gotta wait 2 to 6 hours to go ahead and coat right over the vehicle. But all in all, just a phenomenal lineup. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this type of video. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. The SAM coating was phenomenal, just super glossy. We'll do the walk around right now on how the vehicle came out. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. All the products will be down below in the description, and let me know what you guys think. Other than that, I will see you guys on the next one. Peace. This is how the vehicle looks after we use the entire Labo lineup. Let me know what you guys think. The vehicle looks super glossy, super glassy. It just looks amazing and stunning. Just let me know what you guys think. All in all, we need to let SAM cure for a minimum of 8 to 12 hours, or the recommended time is 24 hours. But that's about it. That's just the only downside of it. A lot of coatings out there are coming out. You can go ahead and release the vehicle within 2 to 4 hours, but I can't complain. Just look at how glossy the vehicle is. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this type of process and the content, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.